Good morning, Stella.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm getting Stella right. Perfect. Oh, perfect. Thank y'all. We live, too. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Where's Jess? There she is. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jess.
They coming in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Hoop Love. Hey, Jess. I see Ramonda on here. Y'all getting it in this morning. Oh, good morning. Hey, Pat. How you doing? Brenda Wilson. Hey, Brenda.
Hey.
Y'all know what time it is. It's Saturday morning. Good morning. I see y'all coming in. Good morning, good morning. We got a busy morning this morning, so we not going to rush it, but we definitely going to have to get it. Good morning. Hey, Hoop Love. How you doing, sweet love? Good morning. Look at Kaya. There go. Kaya, you have not tapped in and told me how things are going. I saw your pop-up shop. Let's talk more about that. That was a dope idea. Good morning, Amber. Hey, Amber. All the way from Texas. See Michelle Brooks in there. Good morning, Valerie. Valerie, I still... Hey, Arius. Hey, Arius. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, Juana Talbert. I see y'all rolling in. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Conversations. Of course, I'm LaKisha Johnson, and Saturday is a special edition of Coffee and Conversations. And I'll introduce you to my special guest this morning. This morning, we are on site for our blood drive that we host every year. We do this blood drive in memory of Jermaines Johnson, who was my husband. And this is also September Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So if you hadn't been logging in and you hadn't been hearing me talk about it, you're hearing me talk about it now. And I'm going to introduce them to you, but I want to start with the scripture for this morning. And the scripture for this morning comes from Psalms 23. And it just simply says, I'm just doing the very first verse. And it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. See, David figured something out about God. I've been studying David a lot because David was a man after God's own heart. David figured out something very significant about God. He knew that God was his shepherd. He knew God was leading him. He knew God was hurting him. He knew God had everything that he needed. He knew that no matter what, he would never want. It didn't say adversity wouldn't come. It didn't say situations wouldn't come. It didn't say problems wouldn't occur. But he knew without a doubt with God that he would not want. And so David trusted God like never before. And I want to encourage you this morning, if you don't have that level of trust in God like David does, find that trust in him, because it goes on. It says he makes me lie down in green pastures, which means he's restoring you. And it says that. It says he guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for he is my rod and my staff. He comforts me. God has you. He has you at every point, every phase, every situation, and in every area in your life. So if you don't know him as being the good shepherd, I want you to invite him into your life in being the good shepherd. So now let me introduce you to my special guest. Right here, this is my girl, Stella Bowers. Stella and our history is so deep, I don't even know where to start. Stella, she's one of my board members for my nonprofit, but she's my sister girlfriend. She's my big sister. She checks me when I need to be checked. She's probably one of the few people that I allow to check me with a whole lot of freedom. She's also a nurse at UAMS's adult clinic on sickle cell. She also is the mother of two special boys, and I say they're special because both of them live with sickle cell disease. And I'm going to let her say her heys, and then I'm going to introduce you to my next guest. So welcome, Stella Bowers. Y'all say hey, Stella. I saw y'all. A few of y'all saying hey.
Good morning, Zenobia. How you doing?
That's Stella. And then my next guest sitting in the back of us, because we're on site at Greater Friendship Church getting ready for this blood drive, is my brother. Man, like he my brother from another mother, but he's my brother. This is Donny Pointer, and Donny was best friend friends with Jermaine, and they were not just best friends, they were brothers. But Donny also sits on my board. He is just great. The boys call him Uncle Donny. So where's Uncle Donny? He also works for Coca-Cola, and he just has a great servant spirit. And so these are my guests this morning. Say hi, Donny.
Good morning, everyone.
And so I just want to welcome you. Hey, let me tell y'all something. If you want to do a big give this morning, meet us at Greater Friendship Church, 4640. I'm here all day till 2 o'clock. Come and give blood. And even if you don't want to come give blood, just come hang out with us and see us. You can come make a donation on site. I have every means of taking every donation. I can take your cash, your check. You can swipe your card and make a donation for Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So welcome y'all. Thank y'all for hanging on to the show. They were asked, Donny was asking me earlier, he's like, what kind of questions are you going to ask? I'm like, you don't get to know what kind of questions. This show today is especially kind of dedicated to sickle cell disease. And so I'm going to start with you, Stella, and just kind of tell me what has life been like for you? Because you have 2 sons with sickle cell disease.
I have 2 sons with sickle cell disease. They are actually 10 years apart.
Oh, wow.
So I have 2 generations at my house.
Okay.
With the oldest, I had no idea that his father had the trait.
Okay.
So,
because you're a trait carrier.
Yeah, I'm a trait carrier. I've known I was a trait carrier since I was probably in elementary school.
Okay.
But the thing was, I never got the teaching to say, hey, before you start procreating or having babies, you need to check to see if that person has a trait. I never got that teaching, y'all.
So let me tell you this, what Stella's talking about. There's a mandated screening in place that's supposed to tell you whether a baby has a sickle cell trait or a sickle cell disease. We have mandated screening in states now, but when she and I were born, we were a little bit seasoned. There was no mandated testing and Donny to screen for babies to determine whether you had a trait status. And when 2 individuals who live with sickle cell trait get together, they have a high risk or a high chance of producing a baby with sickle cell disease. So that's what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. So Jermaines was born and he had sickle cell disease, and I was like, what do you mean he has sickle cell disease? So of course I did a little bit of research. Jermaines has been, I'm blessed. I can't say anything but I'm blessed with both of my boys, y'all, because I'm working in sickle cell and we've lived with sickle cell for 24 years. And with the patients that I see with sickle cell, I'm blessed with my boys. Jermaines has I can probably still count the times he's been in the hospital. And he's 24 years old. So I know I'm blessed. He does not have a gallbladder. But finding out that your child has sickle cell disease at 24, 25 years old, and you're trying to find you, was really difficult, because that was a time in my life where I had just went through a bad transition, where I had gotten in trouble and had just came home and immediately got pregnant when I came home. So trying to figure out who I am, where I'm going, and now I'm pregnant. And when he's born, he has sickle cell disease.
Because it's not just you pregnant, but now you're pregnant with a baby that has a special need.
Yeah. So when he gets here, he has a special need.
Oh wow.
You know, I don't have a career really. Yeah, I'm in beauty school trying to get a beauty license, but when I got out of school, that just didn't work for me. So having a child that I have to care for, that I have to get to the doctor, that has to have special meds, that I have to crush meds by applesauce, it was a little bit hard. But I can say that with my child and his disease, we have managed well, because I read up, and when we would go to the ER, I would be asking the doctors medical questions. But what about this? But what if this happened? So what do I do with this? And they was like, are you a nurse or something? I said, no. They was like, well, you need to go to school.
To become a nurse.
And
we talk about this all the time, how sometimes we'll find ourselves on one path, like we in this one path, we in this one direction. We think we figured it all out. We feel like we know where we are, what we're doing. And then something happens, like a moment occurs, a thing happens that just kind of leads you into this path. And I'm going to ask Donny, because Donny and Jermaine go way back. Like they was doing dirt together and everything. He knows I'm not going to let it be easy. Like they were doing dirt together and everything. And so Donny knows Jermaine at his rawest points. What was it like for you being his best friend? Because you spent nights up at the hospital. You were in times of seeing him live with this disease. What was it like for you to be a friend who had somebody living with this disease, trying to understand the disease, but to watch? Because Jermaine would have, weeks in the hospital, even when we were in high school, because we all went to high school together. What was that like for you as a best friend to see him going through this?
I learned a lot from watching Jermaine go through his crisis, being sick, being in the hospital. The number one lesson that I learned from Jermaine was just be courageous throughout the entire process, because I would see him in pain. But even when he was in pain, he still thought about everyone around him. Even before he had kids, even before he was married, he was a very selfless person. And so as the years progressed and the disease kind of took a toll on his body, there were a lot of lessons that were gained through watching that process.
That's good.
I'll tell you one thing that's living in me right now is I learned to really take a very proactive approach to my watching my health and the things that I do with my doctor. I'm very interactive. I do a lot of research. I watched Jermaine go through things, and he and LaKisha would do their own research. They would contact doctors. They would look for. They were very involved in the whole healthcare situation with Jermaine, and so I take that approach to my health, to my parents, to my kids. But the watching Jermaine suffer, but he was a selfless sufferer.
That's good. He was selfless in his suffering. A selfless sufferer. I don't know if a lot of us can do that.
No.
I don't know if a lot of us can be selfless when we're suffering, because typically what happens to us when we're suffering is that we turn it inward, and we ain't doing nothing for nobody else. We ain't trying to fight for nobody else. We ain't trying to bless nobody else in our suffering. So that's good. He was a selfless sufferer.
Keisha will tell you, when Jermaine first started Sickle Cell Support Services, he would be at meetings at the state capitol. He'd be just about in crisis, but he would not miss a meeting. He was so determined to make other people's lives better because of what he was going through. And that's why we do what we do. That's why there's no problem to be at events. There's no problem with being on the board. I'll serve, and as long as Keisha allow me to serve, I'll serve.
That's good.
It blesses
my heart. As long
as
the Lord allows. I don't get to direct this, but I get what you're saying. I do, but I don't.
We're blessed to be a blessing to other people, but Jermaine's spirit lives on through us. His just like Jesus Christ, he was a servant leader.
That's good, Donny.
Long-suffering, very selfless, and all of those attributes live on through us, especially through his boys, which he was so proud of his boys.
Yeah.
And we were all blessed to be in his presence. Growing up, we didn't know what we were being a part of. We didn't know what we were witnessing. But as things progressed and we got older and we saw what Jermaine was going through, just the life lessons that we were taught by watching what he went through. Keisha and Jermaine allowed me to be there up until just about the last moment.
You were to the last moment.
And all I can tell you, I can cry right now thinking about that moment, because the moment was so special. Jermaine was leaving us, but the moment was so special.
Yeah.
The prayers the pre-prepared prayers that they had already prayed, looking in Jermaine's eyes, and Jermaine was dying, and he told me that it was going to be all right.
Yeah.
And
it's selfless suffering again. Selfless suffering again. Here he is in the middle of this transition, and he knows he's transitioning, and he's telling everybody else around, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
He told
this
Keisha
is going to be
down.
told me to calm down, because I had clicked on the nurses. Like, I'm not going to tell you I went through this. Like, they were not doing what they needed to do for him. And the nurse was like, you're going to get out of here. And I said, no, you're going to get out of here. I'm not going to get out of here. You'll leave before I leave. And I meant that. But he looked at me, and I'm talking about he's in the middle of this transition, and he looked at me and he said, baby, calm down. And I was like, and I calmed down. Like, most people think I'm so strong and I don't like being led. I actually like being led. So I calmed down because I know it. But it was just even in that, he knew I needed to calm down so that I could think, so that he could make this transition. But again, that selfless suffering. And I think if anything can be learned here, it's the level of compassion that it takes for ministry. And I told you guys, Sickle Cell Support Services for us is ministry, and I emphasize that to them all the time. This isn't our job. This isn't just something that we're out there doing. This is from the heart. This is the ministry.
We want to be here.
Yeah, we want to be here. We have to be connected. We have to be in place. We've realized that ministry means to meet a need. And they get right in this with the grind of me. And I tell them all the time, even though I may lead the organization, this isn't just my organization. This isn't just Jermaine's organization. This is our organization. This is our moment to make impact. This is our moment to make history. This is our moment to leave a legacy that says, because all their names are sealed in this, in the legacy. They're in the bylaws. They're written in this story. This moment seals them into the destiny. Everything seals this into their legacy. So they're leaving something for even their children to see how they learn to serve and to lead and to love. You cannot be an extension of Christ's hands and you're not serving. And we talk about that. Donny talks about being a servant leader all the time. His servant leadership is so important. Not that you can just lead, but how can you serve? And at what capacity are you willing to serve? And y'all know how I feel about love. And love and service goes hand in hand. And I've watched both of them. See, they don't know, but I've watched both of them serve, even in some painful moments for them. This was very hard for you.
Yes.
Jermaine was your best friend. This was very hard for you.
And to be honest with you, the last couple of months, I was in denial. I'm not going to lie. Because I kept telling myself, Jermaine's going to be okay. Yeah. God is going to intervene. He's not going to take my best friend from me. He's not going to take my brother from me. He's not going to take the boys' father away from them. And Jermaine told me one day, he said, we were in the hospital. Last time he was in the hospital, he said, Donny, I'm not coming here anymore. And I smiled at him. We played dominoes. And I said, bro, I'm in agreement with you. And what in my mind, I'm thinking I started praying because I'm like, hey, I'm in agreement. God is going to heal you. He's going to remove sickle cell. He's going to heal everything that ails your body. Yeah. And that's what my thought process was. Yes. Jermaine was at peace already.
He was.
And Jermaine, even before that, he was at peace, but he still was so selfless. That's what amazes me, how selfless he was, even while he was suffering, what he was going through everything. Definitely. And he thought about his boys. He thought about everybody around him. He thought about other people that had sickle cell. He would call me, hey Donny, I got a sickle cell patient that's in crisis, and we need to get some pain meds or whatever, And
can you make this run for us? Can you do this? Whatever. Correct. Even in his worst moments.
In his worst moments. And, nobody. Keisha knows. The boys know how he suffered in the end, and to see that.
I seen him.
And to see that, and just go there, but.
I don't think people understand. Like my friend Jess had a dream one night, and she said in the dream we were crying. And she said it was years later, she said, but we were crying. And she said the Lord was letting her see what we saw when he was suffering. And I don't think people know that I talk about it, but I don't think people know the depth of the pain. You were there up to the last day. You were there to the last day. I don't think people know what we saw. And when you see that level of suffering, like when you see someone suffer, you treat people. That's why I treat people different. Like my love and compassion for people and how I handle people is so different. I have to handle you carefully because you may not be with me tomorrow, and I don't want any regrets in my life that I cussed you out, that I was mad at you, that I was pissed off, that I didn't pursue you in love, and that I didn't have this great relationship with you. And that's why I love it, the intensity that I do, because I know what it looks like to watch someone suffer, even emotionally. That's why I'm more in tune to people too, emotionally. Stella, tell me this. Tell me in this process of learning how to serve others, tell me something you've learned personally to take with you.
Personally, I have learned that you never pass judgment on what someone is going through, because you never know where you're going and you never know what you're going to experience. So when you go through that experience, you embrace it. You watch what's going on, and you try to be compassionate to those people.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because working with a nurse and working with people, see, sometimes because we don't experience another person's situation, then we are not sensitive to that person's situation or empathetic to that person's situation, because we don't know what it looks like. We don't know if we've never been a single mom. We don't know if you've never been homeless. Like I hear people tell homeless people all the time, you need to just go get a job.
But it ain't that easy.
And it ain't that easy to just go get a job when you homeless. You know what I'm saying? Or like for my friends that teach school, I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and I tell her, I said, dig deep. find the story behind the kid because they're bad for a reason. Like, they're bad for a reason. And she said she had this little boy who had been acted out in class. He was horrible. And she said when she finally talked to the mom, he had been in foster care the last year. His mom had lost all his kids. His mom had no right to him. Nobody was fighting for this kid. He had so much going on with him, and that was the reason that he was acting out. And so it's digging deeper in the story. It's finding out more about that person, more about why they respond. Because I want to tell you something. I want to tell y'all something God taught me recently. People can only give what's in you, what's in them. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we're looking for people to give something to us, and they don't have it. They didn't learn it.
They didn't.
They haven't experienced it. When you come into this love like mine, and I'm talking about even from my friends. My friends know I fight for them intensely. You may not have ever experienced this, so you may think I'm bossy or being in your business, but it's really me loving you from a place that I just want to see you win. Mm-hmm. But if you've never encountered that, you'll resist it. Does that make sense? Like, you'll be like, I don't want to deal with this girl crazy. Who loves like this? You know what I'm saying? Or who experiences, who lives like this? Donny, I want to ask you the same question in learning this service and being in this service. Because I know you had did things before, but I know since you've been involved with Sickle Cell, you've learned service at a different level. What's the thing that you take with you every day?
I'm going to go way, way back. My grandmother was the true definition of a servant leader.
That's good.
And Jermaine was a servant leader. And so I have other people, my grandfather and other people that have been servant leaders, and I feel like my destiny is to be a servant leader.
That's good.
And I get so much, I learn more from, more about life through serving people, and I get more out of it than I feel like I'm giving to them. And that's the coolest part, when you learn. And I've learned to not look down on anybody. I've learned to... I learn from everybody. People at their lowest point can still teach you things. And so while I'm serving, I'm learning. I'm growing as a person. I'm growing my love and the way that I love, and is growing, and I'm growing as a person. The more I serve, the more I learn about me, the more I learn about other people.
That's good.
And I'm able to serve at a different capacity.
That's good. That's good what you said.
You learn to give of yourself. Mm-hmm.
You learn to give yourself, but something you said significant is the more that you learn about yourself, the more that you serve. And that's real. Because my personality is so dominant, the more that I learned to serve others, the more that I learned I didn't have to dominate. You know what I'm saying? And then I learned to delegate more. When you're in a leadership position and you have a heart for something, or something is your baby, it's easy to just go take over. Now I don't bother y'all a lot. I'd be like, y'all can run this. I'm just here. I'm here and I take pictures. Or I'm here and I say what I need to say. Y'all got this. Y'all doing this. This our thing. This isn't just your thing. But I learned I didn't have to be as dominant. I learned that I didn't have to be all over the place. I learned it didn't have to just be my idea. I learned to lower myself in some places and say, you know what? God coupled me with other leaders on my team. Let them get out and lead this thing with me, alongside me. And I'm going to tell you something. It's like Moses when he had to hold his arms up, and as long as he was holding his arms up, the army was winning. And so Aaron got in place and someone else got in place and held his arms up. I've learned that I need them more than anything. If you think you can go through this life without anybody, there we go. Broke up just a little bit. I've learned that if you think you can do this life without anybody, you're sadly mistaken. I've learned that. I used to be so independent, so strong, so isolated. One of the biggest mistakes that I made in my earlier part, especially before those last 6 months, was not involving other people in taking care of Jermaine. And people were asking me, did you need help? And I was like, nope, I got it. And I wasn't attaching myself to people. I wasn't getting involved. I wasn't inviting other people in. But what it was doing was, it was wearing me out emotionally. It was wearing me out, even though I was strong spiritually. And it was wearing me out physically, because I wasn't relying on the people around me. We were made to be interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent. God puts people in your life for a reason. Exactly. If you don't tap into their strength when you're weak,
Yes.
See, a lot of times we looking for God to do something. You know how the scripture says, in our perfect weakness, he's made strong. But your strength will be in Stella. Your strength will be in Donny. Your strength will be in Kim. Your strength will be into somebody else. And so you trying to do it all on. And what I found out happens is you begin to exert all the energy you have. And then in a second, you'll crash. Instead of taking the opportunity and chance to come in and say, you know what? Let me let Stella come in and help me with this. Let me let Donny get in and help me with this. Let me get this other person in that God is sending to my life. Because that's when you become your strongest, when you rely on other people.
One thing that I got from all of this thing is that I want to thank you and Jermaine for allowing me to be a part of such a great situation. I learned so much about life, so much about myself through this thing, and I want to encourage other people to not shy away from those stressful moments. And when you have someone in your family that's going through something and they're reaching out to you and you say, well, I don't have time for that, or I don't know what to do. You know, I'll encourage you to pray about it, get involved, and you'll be surprised at what you'll learn about yourself, about that person, and that's a great way to connect. But it's also, you know, that servant leader attitude will go a long way, and you'll develop it in yourself by getting involved in other people's situations. Things, you know, some situations are messy, and some situations you have to get very, very involved, and you have to give of yourself like you've never given of yourself before. But in the end, it's so rewarding. And you'll never know if you never reach out and try, if you never extend yourself and try to help someone. So I encourage people to get involved in something. Sickle Cell Support Services is a great thing to get involved
We
in.
always need volunteers. I need some right now. I got a project I need some people to help on. And if you want, inbox me. I got something I need done right now.
Exactly. But get involved. Get involved. If you have a family member that's going through something, talk to them, encourage them, help them out. Ask them what you can do. You don't have to, like Keisha said, you don't have to do everything. We're all interconnected. And you don't have to do everything, but do something. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes serving,
I was just gonna say, Stella,
serving is really just being there.
Oh.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh.
Sometimes you are giving the best service you can by just being there.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey,
Stella.
just being in the room sometimes
makes the difference.
It's serving.
Yes.
You know, because when people are going through things and those that they love and love them are surrounding them, it gives them inner strength.
Yes.
So
that's
just
good.
best being there sometimes.
And I think we think all the time we need to figure out all the right words to say in certain situations, and we don't. I like strong, silent people who can come just sit. I like when people call me and just sometimes say, hey, want to go have lunch? And then they just sit and let me be me, or we quiet, or they let me talk and they let me pour out. Because I give so much to so many people. When those people take those moments and pour into me, or like we had board meeting and Stella stayed behind and she said, I just need to check on you. And I was like, man, she right on time. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I just want to check on you. I just need to ask you right now, are you okay? You know, are you okay with this? Are you okay with that? And I was like, that was big for me because I'm the one always checking on everybody. But I think she could sense, you know, something's going on. I need to check on her. I need to know if she's okay. And so they swoop in all the time. And I've learned to let them come in and love on me. I'm usually the one, they know how I am. I always want to throw my debit card on the table. I always want to pay. I always want to bless them. And sometimes they like, you're not blessing us today. You get to be blessed today. You get to let us love and take care of you today. I always
have this saying, and I want people to really think about it. Encourage the encourager. Sometimes the encourager needs to be encouraged.
Baby.
Sometimes we need to be motivated. Sometimes we need to be loved on. And so if someone encourages you, I'm going to encourage you to encourage them every once in a while. Just, you know, tell them, hey, thank you very much, or just support them in some kind of way. But encourage the encourager is a great thing to do.
Because I know how to smile through my pain, and they know that. Exactly. They know that. They know I'm good.
That's something you learn.
I know how to smile through my pain. You would think absolutely nothing is wrong with me, and then I will go home and get in my bed and cry for 2 hours, and it's just been things and moments like that in my life because I've learned to smile through my pain. I'm also not gonna let something get the best of me. You know what I'm saying? So even when something is trying to get the best of me, I've learned to push through my pain. It doesn't mean I don't have pain. So it's cool when you have people that you're connected to, because they'll pick up on it. They'll be like, something a little off with you.
They're a silent sign.
Yeah, they're a silent sign. But that comes from being in a relationship, and it also comes from slowing down enough to pay attention to the people that you love around you. We are just about to get out of here. We got to get into this blood drive today. Y'all come see me. Y'all come up here and see us. Y'all ain't doing nothing today. This is a slow Saturday. There ain't a whole bunch of games going on. We here from 9 to 2. Just stop by and say hi to us. Get a selfie with us. See what it's like. See what we do. Come experience what it's like. Donny and I are getting ready to go give blood. Yes. We usually try to be one of the first set of people to give blood today, and I hope my iron levels are up and I can get in there and get blood. We love you guys. Y'all know what I'm about to say, right? We love you guys. It's going to break out for a second. We love you guys so much. Donny, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for talking about being a servant leader. Thank you, Stella, for being here. But thank y'all for being my brothers and sisters. We were at the table the other day, and Kim will come in an interview later. I got something special I need to interview Kim about. Kim is another one of our members on our board. And Kim said something so important. We were sitting at the table, and we all work real hard together. We don't play enough together. And Kim was like, Kim is going to get us always in fun. And Kim was like, we need to go do something together because we family. We ain't just working together. We are family. We fuss at each other. We argue. We roll our eyes at each other. We disagree. And then we be right back in love. Like, we right back in love. I be like, they on my last nerves. They get on my last nerves. But you better not roll up on them one of them. You better not roll up on them. I might be mad, but you better not roll up on any one of them or it's going down. So thank y'all for being here today, letting us share with you what it's like to be servant leaders, letting y'all understand just from our heart what service is like and even how we got involved in service. As you see, we all have our own story that connects to this thing. I love you guys. Y'all know my thing is love. I love you guys so much. I will be back in this thing Monday morning at 5 a.m. And I believe the Lord is going to allow me to teach you these Beatitudes so that we can have a better attitude. I tried to go there last week, but the prophetic took over. I love you guys. Go share this video live with someone. Get connected. Log on to my website, LaKishaMJohnson.com. Now, ladies, I told y'all Pillow Talk was going to go fast. I only have 2 registrations left. If you're not paying attention, don't sit there and sleep on it. There are some of you that still need to get registered. You've been struggling with it. You're like, man, I don't know if I have that. Sow that seed into yourself. Don't drink Starbucks for the month. Figure it out. But I'm telling you, I only have 2 spaces left. If you want to know more about what Pillow Talk is, log on to LaKishaMJohnson.com. We love you. I will see you Monday morning at 5 a.m. Go be loved today. They know that's what I was going to say. Go be loved today. Love, peace, and blessings.